Since I know you're probably wondering, yes, I can read her mind. And yes, I'm aware that we look similar. But no, I don't feel her pain, and we weren't switched at birth, that I know of.
My dad would always say that the easiest way to tell us apart is that I have 106 freckles and she has 107. Good luck counting. He enjoyed messing with people like that. He was a tall, lean Navy fighter pilot with black hair and piercing green eyes. His massive arms gave the best hugs. I remember walking down the stairs on a warm, sunny Saturday morning in August of 2011. I was 6 and wasn't even tall enough to set a cup properly on a table. I was the first of my 4 siblings to wake up and noticed an unusual tension in the house. My parents were in the hospital. My dad hadn't been feeling well. A few days later, I remember them finally coming home. They stood at the foot of their bed where my siblings and I waited anxiously. My parents handed me a paper with what I thought was the worst drawing I had ever seen. It was black and white and made absolutely no sense. Struggling against tears, my mom explained that my dad had brain cancer and that what we were looking at was what they called an MRI of his brain. Having never heard of it, I didn't know whether to hug him or not because I thought cancer was contagious. My mom explained that it was not contagious, but it was the most aggressive and deadly type of cancer named glioblastoma. They were going to fight it with everything on the face of this earth and more.
My home went from my private sanctuary to a hotel with a revolving door. There were so many adults in the kitchen, on the couches, and in my parents' room. I vividly remember the kitchen being overwhelmingly full of food that people had given us. I had never seen so much. And throughout all that chaos, my parents always had the same philosophy when it came to us kids. They were always honest and, surprisingly, funny. Humor was a huge part of that time. Humor pulled us through. After my dad's first surgery, he had a brutal scar that stretched all the way across the side of his head. And instead of covering it, my dad, with his wicked sense of humor, had my older sister paint it into a blue and yellow lightning bolt, the logo of his favorite football team, the former San Diego Chargers.
Another time my dad's humor got us through a dark time was during his visits to the neuro-oncologist, Dr. Who. During the visits, the doctor would say, "TJ, you're eligible for a clinical trial, but it's not looking good." When he was done, my dad would always make him uncomfortable by adding, "But I'm damn good looking, right?" So in their final meeting, Dr. Who was forced to say, "TJ, with your cancer so close to the brainstem, I'm afraid there's nothing more I can do for you. But at least you're damn good looking." After months of trying to get this doctor to say that to him, my dad turned to Dr. Who and said, completely deadpan, "Doctor, coming from you, that makes me extremely uncomfortable." Dr. Who, sweating and totally stunned, fumbled on his words until my dad couldn't hide it anymore and burst out laughing.
I remember the awesome day when my favorite teacher took me to the park in her ridiculously bright orange Jeep. I knew it was strange for me not to be there with my own parents, like the other kids, but I distinctly remember thinking, it's no big deal, I'm here with my favorite teacher. Many of my teachers took the extra time and care, playing games with me, taking me to the park, providing me with a sense of normalcy. They allowed me to be what I was at the time, just an 8-year-old kid full of questions. My mom and dad were always honest with me, even when my questions turned from, "Can we go to the movies?" to, "Is Dad going to die?" On January 2nd, 2013, I asked my mom, "Is he dead?" And she painfully said yes. January of this year marks the 8th anniversary of his passing. After that day, I've spent more time without my dad than I did with him. But when I remember him, I don't think of the way he looked during our last holidays together. Instead, I picture how he and I would always whistle his favorite song, "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life" from Monty Python. His humor helped me get through a difficult time and continues to do so today. I've thought about my dad every single day.
I especially thought about him when my mom brought the four of us back into her room in 2018 and told us she had cancer too. I'm extremely blessed and grateful to say that she's 2 years cancer-free.
About a year ago, I had just finished a piano lesson with Mrs. Mary Jo Skinner. That day, her voice was quiet in a way I'd never heard before. She informed us that her granddaughter, Stella, had been diagnosed with brain cancer after having just turned 7. I was shocked, absolutely stunned. Stella and I had played together so many times over the years, drawing princesses and eating candy. Thinking of her as sick as my dad was heartbreaking.
My sister and I decided to take action and start Stellar, a new organization named after Stella. It focuses on helping kids be kids despite illness, just like people had helped us. We are paying it forward. The support we offer is through play, which provides kids with a sense of normalcy. The organization plays virtual games with kids affected by illness and focuses on fun. Stellar has partnered with a nonprofit in South America and has donated tablets, collaborated with local internet carriers, and paid for infrastructure. We've conducted a variety of fundraisers and contributed to a child's treatment.
Our dad taught us that humor pulls you through even the most heartbreaking situations.
He showed us that everyone needs to play once in a while, no matter what else is going on. Stella promotes the need for play.
We found our fierce by taking action to show kindness. Upcoming goals for Stellar include donating hand-drawn coloring books to Rady Children's Hospital and expanding our reach to include more of the international community.
If our dad were here today, I know that he would want us to say that humor is a celebration of life and to be others-centered.
In all truthfulness, I can only really read her mind about one thing: wanting to make our dad proud. We know that we can do this by spreading his passion for selflessness and laughter.